Sexually transmitted disease or venereal disease, STD. There are illnesses transmitted by means of human sexual behavior, including vaginal intercourse, oral sex, and anal sex. The dangerous thing about this is that an affected person doesn't show signs of diseases. It can be caused by bacteria, fungals, virals, parasites, protozoals. One example of them are trichomoniasis, scabies, herpes simplex, candidiasis, and syphilis. The most common or known diseases of these kinds are the viruses such as HIV, AIDS, and herpes simplex type 2, that is the genital one, HPV, or known as human papilloma virus. We are going to emphasize in HIV and HPV. First one, the HPV, or known as human papilloma virus. It is transmitted by skin and mucosal contact, but there are several kinds or types of this virus. The high-risk types are 18 and 16. Them cause several and in untreated cases cervical cancer and genital warts. It can cause immune cancer too, but isn't so usual. It can be diagnosed with a genital exam. It's very easy, but some women doesn't practice it, so it evolves and became cancer. It isn't the usual behavior of the illness in most countries, but sadly it happens here in Colombia. We confront this problem practicing more cervical exams, and we can prevent this illness with a vaccine specialized in high-risk types, but also in the lower-risk types. There are a physical exam that we can practice too, and sexual protection also helps.
AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome, is a disease of the human immune system caused by the human immunodeficiency. Varies, this condition progressively reduces the effectiveness of the immune system and leaves individuals susceptible to infection and tumors. EHV is transmitted through direct bloodstream with a bodily fluid containing HIV, such as blood, semen, vaginal fluid, preseminal fluid, and breast milk. This transmission can also exchange between mother and baby during pregnancy, childbirth, breastfeeding, and under exposure to one of the above bodily fluids. The symptoms of AIDS are primarily the result of conditions that they normally develop in individuals with healthy immune system. Most of these conditions are infections caused by bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites that are normally controlled by the elements of the immune system that AIDS damages. People with AIDS also have an increased risk of developing several cancers, such as cervical cancer. Additionally, people with AIDS often have systemic symptoms of infection like fevers, sweats, swelling glands, chills, weakness, and weight loss. The main symptoms of AIDS are neurological, as encephalitis, meningitis, retinitis in the lungs, and gastrointestinal is very common, tuberculosis, tumors, esophagitis, and finally skin tumors. So take care of yourself and just say no.
If it weren't for your maturity, none of this would have happened. If you weren't so wise beyond your years, I would have been able to control myself. If it weren't for my attention, you wouldn't have been successful. And if